morning, class. Welcome to Homeroom with Unk and Market Monk. Morning, P. How's your week?
It was good. Just good lesson in staying hedged in crypto stuff. That that move down Friday. If you had any puts at all, even just ones left for dead, came back and went crazy. So that kind of thing can happen. But overall, it's kind of been about the energy trade for me still. There's so much going on in uranium and rare earths, and then batteries kicking back up, oil still offering some good spots to buy and all that. So my focus kind of been there. I expect it to kind of stay there most of the rest of the year, along with some smalls, quick hitters, and weed stocks and stuff like that.
Nice. I don't know how I want to say it. It's a good week. Good week. I got lucky with the the rare earths. As long as rare earths count weed, I think I popped that one to you.
Hey, I used to put it in healthcare, remember? So
Yeah, yeah.
we
But no, the continuation on the weed place was good, and I really got lucky in that because I messaged you midweek like, yeah, we're doing great over here, and I pretty much just popped in some stop losses the rest of my after I cleared that stuff out. I just put moved my stop losses around on stuff, um, and kind of just did some review, and then I went and golfed, and luckily I had that gap window where I put the stops in because I was you move things up and that
yeah.
flush, boy did I get some cash back when that flush came through on Friday. So it's good because I was looking at my notes and noticing that you're easy, you know 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 on a lot of these trades. Like the momentum's up, it's hard to lose. You just got to have shaky hands, not even paper hands to lose. Last few weeks, we had some losers creep in. Our last few, cycles of swings, we've had some losers creep in. So I'm mindful that not necessarily flattening, but it was just
Yeah.
easier to take money. And then again, fortunate that the stop losses were in the right place at the right time. Because without that weed push, I'm probably still in the game, and I don't get to do that until Thursday night, Friday morning, and it would have been a little too late.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And a topic a couple weeks ago was the backside trade, and it's been just a fun one in our room to go back and forth on. But Enphase, it popped. It was up 9%, and then just completely plummeted after that. I think yesterday, I don't even remember, but it didn't get to 32 yet. But
You gonna
danger zone.
are you gonna send
Yeah.
me a
So
dollar when
like,
it
yeah, you look
does?
at this, just the just the waterfall here. And believe me that I take a lot off the table over 38, um, even with a read to 45 because of this. So this is what it can do, and your options are either stay really hedged on it, or you just you rinse and repeat. Maybe look for, I guess, a higher low around here or something. But no, I mean, so that just plummeted, and then MSTR, a little bit more reliable around on the pivots and all that. But I mean, you can see that get a nice move off the like the 317 pivot for a minute, but then it just the thing just dies. And if you're hedged and the puts are kind of shorter expiration, it really doesn't matter if you're wrong. You'll actually do better more quickly, and that's what happened to me, Friday. But now it's running out of pivots. I got a couple left, and one of them is let me uh, yeah. So 274 uh, easily could happen. Like Wednesday. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's what you deal with when you are on these downtrend trades like this. Like even the most reliable pivots, you can check down and check down pretty quickly. So it's just something to be careful about. It still is a good target for options because the calls aren't just all juiced up and overinflated. I mean, the Greeks are a little bit favorable to you in conditions like this, but you just have to be careful. The protect your deck thing is into play. And last thing I'll say on it, um, I I got shares on this under 300. I don't still have any of those. That would be stupid. Why would anyone do that? I mean, it got to 360. Why would you go from, you know, 298 to 360 to 304 with shares? I can't see doing that.
Yeah, the first I'm walking through the end phase, and I'm like, in just the grand scheme of things, I just can't trade it yet, and it's
Yeah.
just not there for me. I mean, even the full weekly candle is like $6, so you're 20% total, and it's not a big enough window for me. I should bring that chart up. I just don't have a. When I start putting a line on that chart or lines on that chart, that's when I'd start trading it. But again, I'm upside only, so I'm not trading volatility in the option. I'm
Yeah.
trading volatility in the stock price, and I want that volatility to kind of work in my favor in general. Tide coming in, tide coming out, so to speak. But on the lines of what click over to end phase, and I do. I mean, excuse me, MSTR, and I do have one note this week. It's the last note I wrote down, but it's just because I've been saying it to you for. I think this is maybe the third or the fourth week. 50 SMA on the weekly, and I have two lines on this chart. It's 202, and then that 466 Professor Purple line, the real top. Um,
Yeah.
um, but the range is there. It's the point of the whole thing I'm saying is the range is there. It's much more tradable, so I understand it. I mean, you can just kind of move a decimal over for me on this one, right? Like
Yeah.
the 30 to 37 trade on this is happening, and on the other one you're getting like a 32 to 35, right? It's just a smaller window on a daily range or on a 3-day range, or however you want to look at it, on a short-term swing range. So until that momentum's upward, probably not for me. And the conundrum here for me is end phase in the long term is like a run. It's a way better situation if things do turn around
Yeah.
for it. Where this needs a continuation in a thesis. So no, I follow him because of you. But what I really notice is the difference in the levels. And I mean, volatility is volatility. We tell everybody to have one or two that you always trade, like something you're familiar with. You're born and raised on that, so
Yeah.
I totally get it. I totally get it. And that's the angle I think people should be learning. Um, is keep the winners around, and you'll find one that you can just trade over and over again. And that works share side as well. I mean, that was a share side idea. You took the option side.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. I wanted to stay on crypto for just a minute, and we'll do the
Sure.
whole Bitcoin thing later. But this is actually, um, you look at the forced liquidations that happened, and
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin had a $20,000
You want to
candle
you
down.
want to pull it up while you're talking about it?
Oh yeah. And and it's like, oh, it's Bitcoin's first ever $20,000 candle, but I mean, obviously with the price higher, percentage wise, it wasn't close to what it's fallen more by percentage a lot.
The,
But anyway, um,
from from a
altcoins.
from a
Go
TA
ahead.
side, so from a TA side, P, I would break down that candle. I'm just saying that to you, right? So like
Yeah,
you look at it at a 5, a 10. You just look at that candle and see what really was that a 10-minute flush? Was that one? I mean, I don't know how you can see the orders, but I mean, how quick was that candle? How long did it
yeah,
last?
yeah.
How much pressure did it have off of certain levels? Because when you get to a 5-minute, that might be six candles, right? You don't have to do it
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I'm just saying in general. I would start dissecting
Oh
these
yeah, yeah.
candles a
Right.
little bit more to get realer levels. Because yeah, that was. I mean, it was quick. Yeah, there was not. That was one of them things where I tell people, "What's our advantage? We're here, right? We're available. A lot of people aren't here.
Yeah.
Um, shit, we're in the free session. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Um, but even if you were here, you didn't probably catch that. Like you couldn't have shorted that with it, right? Like that No, you were
No, I
either
just still I had some already.
you're in or
Honestly,
out.
like
Yes, you're in or you're out.
yeah, I just I had a put on coin and an
Oh yeah,
MSTR
yeah, yeah.
one that were left for dead that like expired Friday, right? So it was complete luck that those went to like the coin one went. It's like what they talk about. I mean, it
Well,
was
yeah,
four
yeah. The right
dollars,
side of the coin. Sure.
$1,500 or something. But you know, but it was only because it was a trade to the upside where I just let the hedge die because who cares? That you know that that's how I go with those sometimes. And but yeah, so what I really wanted to get to with that
Sorry. Yeah,
is
sorry.
the altcoins. You know, some of them, I mean, pretty much went to zero for a minute, right? Like they you know, like 75% down, 80% down, 90% down on not even meme coins. I mean, just like established altcoins. And it really, this is the thing that I think is going to kind of stay with crypto for a minute is that it's like those order books. I don't want to say they're fraudulent, but there's just nothing there. I mean, there's
Oh,
so
okay. Yeah, 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 yeah.
when you look at a like let's say just a run of the mill small to mid cap SaaS stock, right? And on earnings it might drop 40%. Mechanically, those stocks can't really drop 80-90% in a session, like after hours. And I mean, in my understanding of the reason for that is that I mean there are buyers down there, right? I mean even a lot of times the ones that do drop 40%, they'll make a kind of wild after hours swing. It doesn't take a lot of you know shares to move them, but just those kind of catastrophic breakdowns like that. I've only seen it maybe in some bios, but the fact that so many of these altcoins that people have been waiting around for could fall to that degree, and even if they bounce back, I mean, is got to be sort of worrisome, and it shows to me that on some level TA is kind of useless on some of those things when they there's the capacity for them to do that.
On the altcoins? Sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
because there's just not. I mean, you kind of nailed it. The fake order. I think you started them where you needed to go. So if there's no real
yeah,
buyers or sellers, and there's no real market, then there's no real support and resistance at any level. Yeah, I mean that's just
right.
you just work your way back from there. Like, yeah, yeah. I mean, I I let you do. I'm a good dad. I let you do what you do, and when you when you fall down, I pick you up and tell you how not to fall down again. That's what I do, and I mean, this is just how I roll in life. And I have a pretty firm stance on crypto, and even a firmer stance on altcoins. Um, I'm
Yeah,
gonna be right in the long run. I mean, we can. I hope we can agree on that. We're waiting
but
for
yeah,
the
right.
we're
And
waiting for
I
the
even I
American
mean
Eagle bald eagle coin. We're waiting for the government to take it over, and all this shit we're talking
yes,
about now will be irrelevant. It just will. I mean, the way Bitcoin. I'll throw you how Bitcoin wins. Anarchy and chaos. That's how Bitcoin wins. Like, there's no
yeah,
government, right? Like, the nuclear bombs do go off. Somehow we have internet, and we use that as a financial system. That's like a tenth of a percent of actually happening and working. Like, it's just not.
right,
It's
right.
just not there. The government, ours, whoever's, is gonna take it over one day and perfect it, and we're gonna move on. And Fartcoin's gonna be a joke. I mean, if it's not already.
Yeah,
There's no utility. Remember when we used
yes.
to talk about it? We used to be serious about it. I mean, utility. Update me on the fucking utility, please.
Right. I mean, no, there isn't really. I mean, and I'm big on this whole like the like blockchain as a technology, you know,
Different.
moving stocks, but it's not. But that's not someone you know mining Cardano or something like
No,
that. So
you of all people know, you people know where it's going with the stock side of it. They're going to data
yeah,
centers. You said it years ago. And then
right.
if you're gonna make it, that's where you're going, and that's what should be important, I think. And again, if not, we would be trading the news of the updated of the utility, right? Like who just
Yeah,
had it? Someone just had it a minute ago. because Bitcoin was pissed and that someone was going to start accepting Ethereum for a payment. It was like a restaurant
Oh, right.
or I don't know, baseball stadium or somewhere. Somewhere it was in the news. I get a little bit of Bitcoin news, but they were pissed because Ethereum was going to be accepted. That's like A and A1, right? For my knowledge, right? Like if there's two that are kind
Right.
of
Right.
serious. So like the rest of it,
Yeah.
I mean, nah, nah. But here we are. We're going to trade it currently.
Yeah. Yeah.
That 113 really stands out. How do you feel about your numbers? My question. We might as well just cover it here.
Oh, yeah. So, it's I'm still kind of sticking with it. Um, 108 was the last flush, and it kind of briefly did it there, but with 110 holding up last night, and
Mm-hmm.
it just kind of it depends. I mean, so if a Friday like that, it's usually not the end of it. I don't know. I mean, that's sort of anecdotal, but um, usually there's some spillover into Monday. Either you get kind of a weak attempt at a recovery and then a fuller flush, early in the day or whatever. So we might have one more pretty significant flush down on Bitcoin coming up. But I don't know that we get what's your bottom number on it? 102 or
Well,
something?
I like what it's working around this one. You can see it from this flush. The like
Yeah.
it first caught that 113 area. Tried to catch it on the second candle. It was mid candle and then came right back. In that hour or whatever. And that's kind of been your
Yeah.
spot. And so getting on that side of that, wherever that is, or hanging around there is good. If not, I think we see that. You want to see that 108 hold. I mean,
Yes.
it's your two downside spots, and then the fucking shutdown screwed the whole plan up. But still looking for the high or low inside the you know 119, 120 range. But although we got the blowout last time, so that could be a couple bucks higher or a couple thousand higher.
Right. Right.
I'm just more on the 50 candle thing before we made a decision. That was more where and what happened here kind of helps me.
Yeah. No, I think so. The Bitcoin's always about clearing leverage out, and so there was too much leverage for longs. If people want to chase it short down here, then that could strengthen it on the rebound too. So,
It seems to
so yeah, I
me
mean, it's going to be a pretty wild week, I think.
like anyone that had trouble with it was because of leverage. Again, I really thought that's where our
Yes.
conversation was going to go today, but it didn't, which is good. But yeah, don't leverage Bitcoin. I mean, don't leverage stocks either, but don't leverage Bitcoin. That's foolish as shit.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, the crypto stuff will let people go
50,
50x.
30, and 50. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's insane. I don't even. Um, so yeah, so what? I mean, I honestly I don't even know. It's like if someone asked me about drugs, like I don't really actually know a lot about it, right? So
What you need to know?
the leverage thing, like how does
Oh,
it
I
how
no
does it
clue.
work when like these people get liquidated? You get liquidated on a 20x position.
Well,
What
I
is actually?
mean, I tried to, when I got into this game, I tried to figure out the rules of the game, like the SEC rules, and
Yeah.
they don't have those rules. So, yeah, no, I don't know. I guess you got a bill that's linked to a card, and they drain your account. I don't know. I have no
Yeah. Yeah.
clue. I just don't. Yeah, no clue. I know about margin. You want to talk about trading on margin, how that works, but yeah, that's no good. You don't want to. You just don't want to do it. It just doesn't sound good if it goes the wrong way.
Yeah. Right. It just amplifies any loss at all. So
Yeah,
yeah,
good
I'm with
job.
you.
Treat it like a bill. Um,
Yep.
I do want to point out before we go to the next topic, if you're done here, if I'm here telling you guys, it's more for the room people though. But if I'm telling you guys I don't like Bitcoin, and I mention a Bitcoin stock, there's probably a really good reason. What up BTIF? What up Hive?
Yeah.
All right, I'm done.
All right. Let me see. The tariff news, which wasn't really, I mean, not very substantive. Just kind of threats back and forth. What's kind of your read on follow through on that?
A couple points on that. I noticed right away it was like 6 months to the day of the last tariff stuff, which is
Mm.
interesting because I'm assuming that's, he said, I'll give you 6 months to figure this out or whatever. So probably should pay a little more attention to the orange idiots fucking timelines, because I
Yeah,
think he actually follows them, which is weird as a president. Usually they just stumble on to the next thing. They're big can kickers usually. Kind of vague bookers as well. Um, yeah, I don't. I mean, but I think when it was 100 and then went to like 135% tariff, that shit ain't lasting. That's a joke. That's a strong arm tactic. Um,
yeah,
um, I I I do want to make the point, about the 660 on Spy, and it kind of being like the target for the end of the year 3 months ago, and then talking to last week about like we're gonna pull back from somewhere. So I don't know if the tariffs. I mean, there's a lot going on in the market besides that. We got peace in Israel. I mean, there's a ton of shit. It's confusing. We we,
yeah,
we got peace in Israel. We're not going to be getting numbers. They're firing people. Because the government shut down. Now we're doing more tariffs. It's just a lot. There's a lot to dissect on where the actual, um, response comes from the market. But we were come on guys, it was 670. It was
yeah.
670. It's got to come down. I mean,
Right.
bad unk analogy, but if you took Viagra and your shit got to 670, you would be begging for it to come down. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You would be begging for it to come down, and to fall right to that level. I mean, I was thinking, I mean, and that might be Monday, but 645, 647 is kind of what we identified last week, right? So what changed
Yes.
during the
Yeah.
week for me? I mean, they know. They know. We had a big list last week. Felt like free money a little bit. Went and looked at the list. A lot of that stuff held up. So maybe they were just kicking the can a little bit. But they know what's going on, and we kind of have a plan of where the pullback's going to be. We just didn't know why. So dissecting the why too much for me just never really feels like it. Temporary though, Pete.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it this week, but I would not be surprised next week if I'm like, yeah, that there's your bottom. I hope you bought stuff, because
Yeah.
it's really possible. And I don't know if they mix for you, but I was 16 days on the government shutdown. That day's Monday next week. So I mean, there's a lot there to there should be more pullback with how much drama's going on.
Yeah.
So pulling back to where we thought we should end the year, simmer down.
Right. And I look at something like take the worst thing you can think of. Like regional banks. Seems like
Oh,
that
sure,
seems bad,
sure.
right? And I look at the ETF on regional banks, and it's a pretty ugly day. But I mean, you look at the last big drawdown on it. It took place over months, and and then came right back. And so I look at this and I'm like, well, I see the spots where it could hit, and maybe I'll even check flow on it. I don't know, but the point being that that this I don't expect Black Monday or anything like that, but yeah, a like sustained drawdown, even like an incremental one, is going to feel catastrophic for people. And you let it go ahead and feel catastrophic for people. And you let them feel like this is it. This is the end. Screw stocks. It's all manipulated. Blah blah blah. And then you know you end up with good entries. It's not going to be Nvidia under 100 again, but there's going to be plenty. And so that's kind of what I look for and am and hoping for. So I'm willing to just dwell in the doom and gloom for a while. While at the same time, in that environment, I like to try to find the good stuff, and it's actually easier to see when this happens. So I like it. I like the stress test. I like to see how
Yeah.
things react. Yeah.
Well, to kind of I'm reading. I do have a thick little block of notes, and one of them was, does retail dump? And then that's your Monday. We'll be telling on that. And when I wrote that note, I just didn't write it and walk away. I kind of continued to think about it, and it just look what happened. April was a pretty big dip, and I know. I mean, you got your cigar bar people. I got my golf course people. The,
Yeah.
they weren't selling then, so what makes? I mean, they were bitching, but they were not selling. So what makes them sell now? And talking to these people, you play 4.5 hour round of golf with these guys, once or twice a week, every week, and you kind of talk to them after a while, and you like, man, why won't you sell that? Like, there's better fish out there and some things they're in, these old fuckers, and it's just comfortable. They're along for the ride. It's how they got here. Like
Yep.
in our room, we we never have to tell people, oh, you need to hold that a little longer. It's usually the
Right. Right.
opposite. It's usually the
Yeah.
opposite. So just human nature, and then if you're already ahead, um, your nature becomes more ingrained, in my opinion. So I don't see retail dumping on this little hiccup, especially again. It's with all the like retail has to dissect that from not paying attention. So they're going to see, well, we just got peace in Israel. They're like, all the government, they'll figure it out. That happens all the time. It doesn't, like, they're just
Yeah.
so far away from the actual news where we live in it. We live in it and breathe it. So we kind of absorb it a little different than those guys. But they're not selling Monday. Um, it doesn't mean that there won't be more range down. It's just about holding that range and um, it becoming overwhelming. Um, so
Yes.
so
Yeah.
yeah, I
Totally
mean,
with you there.
yeah, still have a, what, $13 that other way for me. Um, put some stops in. It's really easy. I mean,
Right.
we're traders. We're not investing. So just play the damn chart. Put some stops in. You can re-enter the trade, and then start looking for the ratios on the other side of it. And it's pretty simple for me. Yeah, opportunity though,
Yeah.
P. I'm with you.
Yep. And I talked for a while now that I thought that the Mag 7 would kind of stall and rotate around, pull back, and whatever. But it's just what Flo said. I didn't know why, or I could not have put together for you
Sure.
this collection of reasons. But it just clearly was something miss in the flow on those. You haven't seen those show up in the collabs in a while, but
This market's gonna
uh,
pout when we if we don't if and when. I think it's kind of gonna be a win because they're all dicks. Um, but when we don't
yeah,
get the next rate cut, Market's gonna be pissed.
yeah. All right, I'll go to some boring stuff here.
Yeah, yeah.
The oil dipping down. I've talked about 58 before, and I just said, oh, I think 58 will probably hold. So we're kind of at that point.
It's a better look.
But again, it's important to keep they aren't. This is not Bitcoin, so oil stocks don't automatically react to oil dropping, right? So they sort of like that certainty, but yeah, you want this to have a couple good days to sort of stabilize things and get into the lower to mid 60s, but I'm still very very much like longer term park and wait on the oil stock. So I don't think you don't look for the moonshot or trade weeklies or something in that particular sector. Natural gas, I mean, still just sort of hanging around 3. If you obviously don't want this to go down to 2, but even the 270s is not really that big of a deal. Kind of been here before, so yeah, nothing major there on my end.
Yeah, I like gas. Just take your time in. Oil, just take your time in, and
Yeah,
natural gas. I think, like, yeah. I don't know when you're gonna be like, I'm seeing things clear as day, but it's gonna happen. We will be, back 5 to 7
yeah.
for some reason, whether it's geopolitical or just off a need.
And then copper. it got to where I was looking for it to get to, which was that mid candle on that big drop, and probably it'll consolidate around here for a bit, I think.
Yeah, that's one of them ones I had to stop in, and we
Sure.
said goodbye to that. So, but I did good. I did good on that. I got real close to 30% on the the total of the trade, and
Yeah.
I'll play that chart again. And for me, I don't know about you, feel, but there's a few that aren't. But most of those charts are just they're like my flight to safety. Like I'm not expecting to 3x Southern Copper. I'm just not. Like I don't even think it's a possibility. Like 50%
Yeah.
is like the home run on that trade. So getting 30, pretty much with a real slow move in copper, I'll take every time.
Yeah. Yeah. With you there. All right. And then gold. Um, oh, what can you say? I don't know. I mean, it's like $4,000. So not going to give you many entries up here, I don't think. But I don't know. I mean, so at this point, what would a big flush in gold look like?
Well, okay, so
36.
I
I don't
oh
know.
on the chart, shit. Sorry, Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like 37.5 with dips below.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
more of a psych, and you can kind of see it there. I mean, I'm spitballing. I'll and draw a line there, but yeah, 3.6 is a little low. Um, we found gold, 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 right? Oh, where the problem
Yeah.
with the charts being in a spot and the commodity being in a spot where we're fine. And I said it early on, like when I was trying to get people to hang out, let's say, like through April or March, June, like yeah, the price of gold, we're watching it go up, but it's not going to hit their reports for quite some time. They have contracts and stuff like that, and we're getting to the point to where that part is made. It's caught up, right? Like it's going to be in the reports now. So I don't think it affects the stocks as much as it would. And I would be looking forward to buying those pullbacks in the stocks, especially the ones that the report how the reports are.
Yes.
I mean, but it's a
I'm with you
different
on that.
trade, right? I mean, it's totally different trade. Good range
Oh yeah. I
on a
mean,
lot of those.
we were. I I didn't see a lot of people talking about gold when we were first getting on this stuff. So
The stock was
um,
actually called gold when we were getting on this stuff.
yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Sorry.
And then
What up,
silver.
B?
To go to yeah, to hit 50, that's pretty exceptional. So
Yeah, no, and I mean, I, I, I wanted to. I've been wanting to get my original Nvidia thesis into a conversation sometime because my original
yeah.
Nvidia thesis was. I'm talking like my fucking 2016, 17 Nvidia thesis was my buddy was a truck driver and he told me to drive trucks autonomously. Nvidia's just gonna have to be around and we're going that way. Trust me, I'm in the industry. Yada yada yada. So, but that's not what pushed Nvidia in the long run. To keep that short
Yeah.
short. And the same thing with silver here. Like I was mad, you were all gold, gold, and I was like, I like silver, uranium. Well, I was like uranium and silver, but if we're going metals, I just like silver a little more. And totally wrong reason, but damn, did it work out.
Yeah.
Um, I just
Yeah.
didn't get
This
enough of the AG. I did bet I'm gonna end up probably doing better in gold because I didn't buy AG at 8, or I didn't re-enter
right.
enough
Right.
at 8 at all. When your read came in right on time on 8 on AG, and now we're what fucking 13.
Yep. And uranium. So
Yeah,
this is kind of what you want. You get the pop. It pulls back a bit, and just keeps going. This is gonna likely break 100 on this current paradigm we're in. So yeah, I mean, I keep posting flow on uranium stuff, even though some of them to get a starter in some of those now, would been where they were in the room, feels kind of risky, but just that's Flow says what it says. So I just think that there's a lot of strength in this sector, and so we'll continue to look for laggers and um, some of them we've talked before about the big difference between a company that pulls uranium from the ground and the modular reactor hype stocks, but there's going to be good stuff in all of that.
Yeah, I'm with you on the. It's just a different kind of trade. Um, like if you're trading the used from 20 to 24 or something like that, it's just a different kind of trade. No 100 share action.
Yeah.
Um, I like those, like the Oklos and SMRs and NNEs of the world, because they can get the government news and a big
Yes.
project really push them, and the range is a little better, so not necessarily the company. And again, we kind of already hit the home run on those other ones, so uh, yeah, good stuff, P.
Yep. And we kind of already did
Well,
Bitcoin, but
you
let me
can
go to
go. You
the.
can do a little foresight. What do you? Let's talk. You didn't answer
I'll go to the
mine.
10-year first.
Okay, good stuff here.
So yeah, I mean that 10-year didn't actually have that big of a reaction to Friday. I mean 2% is a lot, but still still been here. We're not breaking new ground.
Yeah, that's
So
the
as long
key.
as that's the case, you're all right.
Yep. You do have a pretty big downtrend going there, though. Overall, be mindful of. You do kind
Yeah,
of want to
yeah,
see a higher high. I mean, I don't know if you TA works on this or not, but just TA,
yeah, yeah,
I TA
yeah.
everything. I see some. It's a crooked line on the street, and I'll find a high or low on it. Um, but yeah, like you would like a little to get back into that, like, 118, 125 range, but
Yeah, I guess like if you look at the April candles, I mean, look at this is just psychotic,
yeah, you don't
and
want that. It's ridiculous.
you don't really want that happening.
Yeah.
So
Well, and those
those just more.
are those dailies? Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
You do not want a week and a half like that. That sucks. Kind of already did that
Yeah.
though, right there in August, right? A little bit. Like we did that. We
Right. Right.
said that at the time. Like that's not how we wanted to get here, but we needed to get here.
Yeah. You're right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. None of that.
Right. And then Bitcoin. I'll go to the real
Yeah,
deal
give me a
here.
day. Yeah. How you feel about your number?
Not great.
All right. Well, I got.
um, I I mean I'm kind of I'm gonna stick with it because I'm not wrong yet. But
No, you could be right after my 50 candles. I think I got.
you're right. Right.
I think I got. Where are we at? We're in like the mid 30s. I think left. It's been about 2 weeks since
It's
we did that.
I mean, obviously, retail's pissed. They're always pissed, and you had Hood and everybody not letting people sell and not letting people buy, and just your usual scammy shit and all that. So, the there's a lack of confidence in the space. That can be bad, but there's so much like bigger institutional money in Bitcoin now that I think it sort of prevents cascading failure into like the 80Ks or something right now. But I do think that it could think about 100K tests this week. So I'm just sort of mindful of that.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that the shutdown was the reason for it, and we just get back to the
Yeah.
smaller, tighter candles. With you on the they're in control. First thought I thought of was yeah, fuck retail, like this fuck retail, especially crypto retail, especially them. But man, my mama always told me that if you want to be something in the world, you got to hang out with winners, and the whales are the winners. So stop thinking with a
Yeah.
retail mind. Think like a whale.
Right. Right.
And they're buying a lot of it, and I'm not rich like a whale, so I can't really swim in that space. That's how I guess look at it. So they're going to be in control in the long run, and what they do with it after that. A lot of FUD out there right now. I mean, if you guys are following these damn coins in general, I ain't gotta tell you. They're saying it's a big rip. I mean, the stories about it being a big Ponzi scheme rip off, erasing debtors out there, and let me know when they talk about utility. There we go.
Right. And we can go to SPY for a minute if you want.
Yeah, yeah, just to get a more of a overview of what's going down. I think we're good there.
Yeah. All right. So
I did sell more on Friday though than I think I have any day of this goddamn year. Um, but that 660 top, kind of the plan. I mean, didn't know where from, but knew it was coming. Had to have a plan in place. Um, didn't expect it that quick or that soon. That's definitely where I was at. I thought we would get a little bit more extended, but um, yeah.
so I am seeing, like, when I look at my little chart here, puts into November and December have been kind of taken off a bit, and they're kind of overtaking some things. So yeah, so some of that could kind of stick with us, but yeah, so like 650, 660, that area. Like you look at like this candle here. I mean, a lot of these are sold puts, right? And so this is the big kind of you know sell spot or whatever. Otherwise, you very very could easily get into these maybe 632 to 644, something like that. But I think that's about it. I don't know that you get much below that. So like yeah, like there we go, 638 for November, um, starting to show up. Big OI increase. So I'm kind of mindful of that.
Got a lot of the gray boxes up top too, so that kind of looks like. I
Yeah.
mean, not. It's a big ship. It's oxen, right? Like they're not going to turn around in one
Right.
week. Not going to turn around in one
Yeah.
week. And first thing I thought about last week, just because how it lined up for us, even though a lot of the charts didn't have a horrible week, was just free money flow. Like if you don't want
Right.
if you don't want to sell a position and you think you are close to the top, what do you do? And even in my seat, it's sell a covered call. So
Yes.
that's, I mean, I don't know how to play the put side. I mean, you could probably elaborate what you do on that if you do something from that angle, like on the other side of it. Um, but for me, yeah, that's what you do, and I guess you buy a put if you don't want to sell a close to the money put. Is that what I mean?
Um,
Would that be the play from a share side? But whatever, those
I
people are hedging
right.
positions, and the reason I'm bringing up not want to sell, it's just for me. It should be obvious for you. I mean, I think about it. I'm a little motherfucker. It's taxes. It's a tax burden. I mean, there's some tax responsibility to moving millions of dollars, especially if it's a gain.
Yes.
They don't get just because they're big fish or they're part of a hedge fund doesn't make them. They're not 501c3s. That's not how that works. Like
Right. Right.
they're still paying fucking taxes, or they got to know how to. Sometimes they got to take a loss so they don't got to pay as much taxes. Let's just throw that shit out there. So I think there's some not checks, but there's some definite variables besides like, oh, everyone should sell here that people don't think about. Um, and that's stuff you see, not that I see on the option side.
Yes. No. Yeah. I'm with you. So the share control through derivatives. I mean, a lot of that does have to do with the tax burdens. I think so. Part of the reason that
Yeah.
reading this stuff it does works.
So for now, I mean we're overcooked. Can we just start there? So pullback is
Yeah.
expected. I mean, what's a good here? I'm gonna pull a chart up. What's a good range on SPY for you right now? Just in general. We did get our first red
It's
candle. We did get our first red candle close to another red candle. We had been going about 4 or 5 weeks on SPY without getting the secondary red candle, but it
right.
fell to
Right.
that same damn spot of the last red candle. So if you look short term, you probably throw a line up there. I don't know. I'm not a TA guy, but you do have a pivot here. It's going to fight. For me, you still have, yeah. You said it perfect. P 634. I think you said
Yeah.
634.
That's where I'm at. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, you kind of have a couple of levels to break through. We're not going to fall through that in a day. Um,
Right.
what you don't want to see is like four straight candles here, low volume into that zone. You'd rather it be quick. Um, to answer my own question, I need this guy. Let me just take this candle and go over there. So give me that 54 bottom, which is kind of where we are. That'd be strong, and then 64 top. So a $10 candle. And you're still kind of just mid candle on the close. I mean, that's a good week.
Absolutely. I'm with you. The futures can like the futures candle today. I'm interested in it, and that's way shorter time frame. But just I just want to see kind of the follow through there. And I've had people. Someone asked me this week about what do people mean when they say you know well we have to wait to see if the OI sticks tomorrow.
Okay.
And I you don't actually really hear me talk like that. I I'm more big picture with whales, and it's not necessarily just that. Just rare. I guess it's just rare. It's rarely the case to me that what they're talking about happens, which is where you have whales pile into a bunch of options and just kind of rug pull it, and then the OI is gone, and then the trade the trade falls apart. I think they're not really identifying what's happening there. I mean, you do have a lot of quick in and out with options and all that, but in any case, I with this pullback, it's not as if what they bought Friday is going to have the follow through. But what I'm more looking at is, I guess, setups that I saw a month ago, like that were seemed to be hedges. What are they going to do with those now? Like they've already been in it a long time. So now I look and see what's going to happen with the OI.
So what's
OI is like EA levels. Older is better. The longer they've been in this stuff, that's part of some plan or just edge or eventuality that they see, and it's like, okay, now that we're here, what's going to happen? And I tell you, see me use the word punt a lot in my notes. We're at that time for the January options. It's like they got to do something with this. So they're not just going to let it expire. So what's going to happen? And so this is a really exciting time to read flow at the close of the year, and it's going to really set us up for what we're going to be trading like in April. So um, exciting times ahead.
when you sorry, when you're looking at that interest, it's usually stuff that's already there. That's not like
Yes.
that's not like the stuff that expires like this week that they
Right.
reopen.
Right.
Do you see? You know? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm
That's
just
all noise.
okay.
The, it's funny that I mean that's the one thing people want. They want to. It just when they want to read flow, they go into the noisiest, most useless part of it, and that's where they all hang out. I don't really care about what's going on in there very much. So just a different way of looking at it, I guess.
Yeah. No, it's funny how we use our volume means different things to us. Like it's a,
Yes. Yeah.
we have we almost need like two different words because your volume and my volume
Right.
don't necessarily mean the same thing. Because like there was a day this
Yeah.
week, plug I was like plugs $4, BTIS next, and it was just because you can see it in the volume, like we're getting there. That guy's winning. We talked about that last week. The two orders, right? Like this big fish pushing this guy up. And you just kind of seeing it. Um,
Yeah.
yours is more after the fact. It seems like they buy and then you dissect their pieces on the board. Where
Yeah.
I'm doing it
Exactly.
is they're putting it down. Like you can see, like he put down a 5, he put down a 6, he put down a 7. What's the next card probably going to be, Professor? Probably
8.
probably an 8. um, good time to ask this one, and then we'll go if you don't have nothing else. Above or below 660 end of the week.
Hello.
Okay, probably with you on that. Do we test? Does the intraday level hit 660 this week? Do we test it?
No.
No, I'm a yes there. I'm a yes there.
Okay.
I just had to get a difference. I don't think we finish above it though. Perfect. You ready to get to work, sir?
Yeah, I just need a quick break and then we'll get to it.
Perfect. Like and subscribe. Link somewhere, people.